if you have the numbers like Ukraine and Russia, they may leave absolutely everything out on the field, even in their training.
Yeah. We now have the Czech Republic entering the list, and I think they will be facing Argentina 1. And the Argentinians have had many good tournaments. Great fighters coming from them. They've had their own first-class tournament. They've been actively involved in HMB for some time now. And this Czech team, having hosted Battle of the Nations for 2 consecutive years, 2015 and 2016. Well, they've got a lot of fans. Very, very impressive display. And you can see the big Czech fighter in the middle there.
He is a giant. Do you know any measurement on him?
I know. I do get a sore neck when I start talking to him, however.
And you're not short. You're not a giant, but you're definitely not short.
So we see there, and at the top of the list, it looks like Russia, perhaps Russia 3, are preparing the fighters.
Interesting armor choice there from that that Czech fighter with that bar grill face.
Yeah.
Leaving to a lot of room and a lot of breathing, but maybe less vision than some of these more clear visors. Now the engagement starts.
Underway. The Argentinians a little bit compact. There slams the Czech Republic fighter down.
Fantastic initial attack. He's very annoyed, that Czech fighter.
Yeah, you can see the frustration there.
We have the largest Argentinian and the largest Czech.
Oh, that's a nice one. Very close to a takedown there.
By the Czech.
Look at the movement by these Argentinians. They don't have the height advantage, but they are so fast.
They're doing a fantastic job repositioning themselves. I do think they need to disengage some of them.
Yep.
Oh, the big fighter being taken down.
That's right, yeah.
A nice koala.
But look at that big Argentinian there.
That man I have fought against, he has the endurance to go for a long time.
Right.
He's right behind him. He's doing his best to grab onto that that Czech fighter, who's putting his weight onto the Argentinian.
That's right.
Patience.
He might go for a trip here. I think he was wrong to go for the push, so he should have gone for a trip.
A kick to the legs, or at least a hit to the legs, may have changed.
Even clipping the ankle would have done it. I'm very surprised he went for that. Some big headbutts coming through.
Got to be clear, not obviously to hit the Achilles tendon. That would be considered an unsportsmanlike shot. The now tangled up there, that Argentinian, but they do have the advantage in the numbers. A surprising turnaround.
Yeah.
To be honest, Argentinian's not considered one of the top teams like the Czech, but nonetheless doing the absolute best. Finishing, with those
big elbows
on the
coming down on the Czech fighter, who thus far have no response to this attack by the Argentinians.
Hopefully that big Czech fighter will reposition against these, the big Argentinian will reposition against the small Czech fighter.
Desperate to get that Argentinian down on the ground, who is holding on for dear life. Very, very impressive. So the Argentinian needs to make some rapid charges. I would even consider changing weapon at that point, because the Argentinian below him is not giving up. And it looks like both of them have gone down there.
Yes, this looks like a one-on-one fight, it seems.
I think so. I think, that Argentinian is grounded.
If that Czech turns around, no, has he been allowed? No, he is down. It seems that we got a bit of a kerfuffle here, but he's turning around, and this is a one-on-one fight. Oh, this could be anybody's game here.
There's one-on-one.
Argentinio is the runner. He is the fastest runner, and I do believe he's very smart moving out to that area.
Yeah, he's against that big Czech. He doesn't want to get on the list here.
He definitely does not want to be putting his back towards the Czech fighter, but he's teasing him, maybe choosing to now push him.
Goes in. Some smart moves there. You can see the Czech fighter is quite tired.
Yeah, maybe, but he shouldn't be giving him that chance to rest.
A little bit of showboating. I'm not sure how much help that's going to do him.
The other Argentinian really should be taking the opportunity to try to position himself on the other side of a fighter with his Czech fighter in between. Do not get hooked up on that fence there.
No.
Unfortunately, he has. He's decided to try to hold on to that and trying to throw, but it's going to be badly
placed.
placed.
The Czech fighter is just putting all his weight on the Argentinian now.
He's gotten a few shots to the leg. If he keeps going, he might actually weaken the leg. Kneeing to the knee, not enough. Is this going to be
charging right through there. Big advantage for the Czech fighter.
The Argentinian still holding on firmly, though. He needs to get his sword active. He's holding on and not focusing on his secondary
dangerously
tactic.
Putting weight on that leg, though. I think this is going to be over fairly quickly.
No, I do believe that Argentinian's got a lot to hold on to. He needs to reposition himself. He needs to think
differently. He's almost off the list there. And then he's down! And very close there.
The Czech is safe. The Czech is safe.
Held his feet up there. Impressive work from the Czech fighter, who had the height and weight advantage.
I do believe the advantage, though, was in the Argentinian in terms of energy.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
He didn't take that.
Yeah, they're very fit, yep.
He
had to be careful. There are a number of grounded fighters, and if you move around too much at that point in the round, you do.
Ground.
We've got some very fast movement from the Argentinians here. Very, very athletic.
That Argentinian really should just grab that large Czech fighter and take him down.
Yeah. You can see some great hooks there. He's got to be careful that he doesn't hold the Falchion
his own weapon. Yes. He seems like he might be grabbing his own weapon, that Czech fighter.
Yeah,
hopefully
I think
the marshals
he is.
keep an eye.
The marshals need to see that. You can see all the concentrations in the corner, but they need to look at what was going on there.
Weapons are free now. The Czech fighter taking him out.
And that's a victory for, there will be a victory for the Czech Republic. Smashing down, that brings them the win.
Seems like the tides turn very quickly when that big Czech fighter is left standing.
Yeah.
It might be a tactic for any team to just sacrifice someone to trade against him.
Perhaps we've still got one Argentinian on the ground there. The Czechs enjoying the victory. No, he's back up. So nothing has happened there. Seems to have been a little bit of discomfort, however. I'm not sure if they'll get some medical assistance for that, but he's up.
Victoria pues para la República Checa en la lista número 2.
Looks as if we're going to see
sobre Argentina.
Well, you can see the replay here. The great movement of the Czech fighters bringing down the Argentinian. Some swift movement there. Very smart, big blows to the back. But when you've got such fast fighters, you can see how the Argentinian is crushing the Czech against the list. I think it was a smart thing to do in that situation. The Czech could have ended it a lot sooner than he did. Selection of great fighters they've got. I mentioned yesterday about the development of the sport in the United States. It is so fast. They've got this amazing tournament, the ITOC, International Tournament of Chivalry. It brings people from all over the world. It is hugely impressive. Lots of interest coming in from the crowd, and so well marketed. If you want something marketed well, get an American to do it.
Definitely. If you know anything enough about the Americans, obviously they do it big. They do it big.
They don't do things by halves.
No. Or even small, as we all know about their McDonald's sizes. Now the Americans taking the field against Czech
that was
Republic.
USA 3, as I thought, against Moldova.
All fantastic.
So this is USA 2 in the first list, who are about to screw up now and get underway against the Czech Republic.
I think the Americans taking a bit back. They're not quite sure how to adjust. No one's engaged yet. A bit of tentativeness in the center of the field.
Still using these runners. The Czechs won't want to lose that immediate fighter again. Slightly unclear movement from the Czech Republic. Just a little bit of moving round there.
Americans getting a bit taken by surprise from every angle.
Nice blows. Those big shots coming in for that big American, who I believe is David Dixon.
The American actually, unfortunately, planting a few shots into his own teammate there, but nonetheless, gonna choke him down.
This is
pulling
good
opposite
clinical
ways,
workout. Very, very close fight here.
I believe he should probably try and disengage that American fighter holding onto the back of him. To try and disengage because he doesn't have the size advantage here. And so he's just biding his time now.
He's opened up a runner there, but I think he's going to regret that. It's not going to be as effective as he'd want. And that's it. Very, very big shots there from American.
But the Czech's still standing hard.
Yep.
And now he's hooked around the helmet. Maybe a little move there. The marshals don't seem to be calling it, so it seems to be all fair.
His weapon is immobilized there, being wedged between them.
The Czech fighters over in the distance. We have one of the larger Czech fighters against one of the fancy dressed, or well-dressed, I should say, American fighter. Not much happening there, but they'll wait that out.
This is where it gets very, very tense, and their energy starts to drain.
There was a Czech fighter, unfortunately, I think had collected.
Big takedown there from the USA. Excellent work.
That Czech fighter was the one who was holding the edge of his axe, or at least it was caught on the shield. Marshals making sure they cleared it out.
He's been effectively taken down, and now it is USA in control of this match, and there's 3-1, and it will be called.
Fantastic.
Good work there from USA.
Especially the bulky one we can see right there.
Yeah.
Needs to get his shoulder armor fixed.
Yeah, that's come loose.
I noticed that of the Australian fighter. Hopefully they were able to get that fixed as well before their next engagement. Fantastic work by the Americans there, making sure that they kept together as a team, and I think paused a moment to notice what was happening around the list. As you were mentioning, yes, the Americans, they have teams literally on all the corners of their continent. They've got New York, Los Angeles, and Seattle.
Yep.
Doing fantastic work there, and but traveling long
from all around the place. They really come over from from a lot of states, and it's great to see. It'll be interesting to see like how many new recruits the local teams get per year, and what impact Battle of the Nations has on this. Of course, they participate in different international events. They've got their own event. Well, they've got a number of their own events, excuse me, which are very, very big. Great for the fans too. They get thousands of people flocking to their events every time.
America has a culture of sport. I would not be surprised
Yep.
if that's the case. Australians, even though we obviously have that culture as well, it's a very new sport in Australia, and we don't have the same population that America has. All the quality in advertisement as the Americans are known for.
Now the Night Marshal just waiting for the Czech fighters to get ready, who seem to be back against the list there.
Czech have obviously chose to field their incredibly large fighter.
And as we speak, we can see the other USA team start against in a very, very rapid fight against the Moldovans. That's really impressive at the top.
List 1 and 2. Obviously, Americans trying to meet them. The big Czech fighter being taken and held onto.
Oh, that's a big takedown there from the man. Takes two of them down.
No, unfortunately, this places the American team at a disadvantage.
Oh, he's going for the multi-kill, though.
Taking some wonderful
striking
shots
down on that American. How much more of that punishment can he take?
Well,
he's going to smash that pole arm if he continues like this.
Unfortunately, not enough for that American to do anything.
Yeah.
But hooking weapons now means that there's nothing he can really do. An American choosing to just take the beating, I don't think there's much that he can do. We are 2 Czech over there on an American on the other side of the field. The large Czech, considering that
and the Czech has thrown the American fighter out there, and that has stopped it.
Incredible show by Czech there.
Yep.
I think some wrong moves there by those Americans. So one of the Americans run up to, the one hugging now actually tried to hug him and take him down. And unfortunately, I think as he engaged him, wasn't able to withhold the throw or actually drag him down. I think they did what I mentioned before. They tried to sacrifice someone against that big fighter, but it didn't work, unfortunately.
It didn't, yeah. When it's a smart tactic, you've got to get that guy down. You saw how he made short work of those 2 Americans in quick succession.
Something I feel that needs to be trained is work on the taller fighters. Need to be taking out their legs, some kicks. As you're approaching, you're not going to be able to kick their stomach or their hip like some other things, but being able to kick a leg out or a knee out in the initial engagement as even a distraction may be enough. There were some great shows by the Danish fighters who were attacking from behind, almost doing a rear clothesline and grabbing the team while landing firmly. We have some scores up on the screen. Not sure how accurate they are. They say Czech 2 with USA 0. But they seem to be taking the field. I do believe it is a 1-for-1 competition at the moment.
You can see some bright spells coming through, and then cloud covering over again.
Not warming up, but at least dry.
It's at least dry now, yeah. That does make a big difference. So it strengthens the sand a bit.
The fight is underway. USA having a strong center, but their rear flanks dropping back. Wondering if that's to tease them into anything. Fantastically strong punches at the south of the field. The Czechs.
You can see the Czechs slightly blocking each other there, but some big strikes coming down from these Americans.
We can see this tussle happening here. The American being very smart to not get caught. Trying their best to twist and throw, but not happening here.
Then once again, there's a big charge there into the Czech fighter. He's going to take advantage of the grounded fighter, and it's his own teammate, but the Czech fighter manages to hold on.
Very contentious there. The Czechs now do have the advantage.
Yep.
One of the Americans at the top of the field being told to take a knee. Not quite sure how that happened. So now the Czechs outnumbering the Americans. We'll see whether or not one of these Americans can reposition himself. I would think that the current skirmish we're seeing will last a bit of a while.
That's going to go on for a bit. It's gone right to the corner there. Therefore, both fighters have more to hold on to. You can see him trying to strike down, but one weapon is locked. The other, the axe is being gripped onto, as well as the list.
He's now a 3-2 fight, as one of the Americans did take down a Czech.
Right.
But it's now unfortunately having these 2 fighters in the center. One Czech repositioning himself, maybe not advisable, as I think that might actually be Austin going down with the other Czech fighter, leaving to a 2-1 fight. This American has to find something in him to draw this out. A nice solid kick to the gut there.
Yeah, that's very impressive. But you can see this Czech fighter is exhausted. not connecting with these blows.
Repositioning.
It's a great movement there for the American fighter, who's going to try to capitalize on this, trying to take both of them out.
He needs to make sure one fighter stays in front of the other so that he's aware.
Yep.
Behind him.
Oh, very, very close there. That was extremely dangerous play by the American. He backed up far too much.
Now that the Czech fighter
Only went down. And he's still wedged between those fighters there. That is going to be somebody's undoing. And it is!
Oh, fantastic.
Very smart work there from the USA!
But he needs to be careful because now he needs to regain his energy here.
He spent a lot of energy doing that. This is going to come to, but I think the American's got it. It's in control. He's going to take him down. It's a double takedown.
Oh, this is where it's something that I would be surprised to see how the marshals call this, as obviously he was taken down in the motion.
Yeah.
But clearly the Czech fight hit the ground.
Well, that's it. No, they both went down because they were still locked. But it's a real pity for the American fighter who did so much there. Very, very impressive. Really risked it all. He was backing up.
I would say it's not so much a pity. He turned what was a 2-versus-1 into a draw now.
Right.
So, even though it wasn't a win, it's still an amazing come around.
Very impressive. And now we have the UK. I believe that's the UK 1 in list 1.
Against the Polish.
Yep, that's right.
We're looking here at the slow-mo, seeing very tired here, but he took advantage. He didn't wait to recompose himself too much and tossed him down, but that Czech held onto his arms firmly and wasn't enough, unfortunately.
That's a real shame for the American.
The gauntlet and shield coming off there. So
and we can see, and that is another grounded Polish fighter there. So I think the UK have taken control of this fight, and it's been called. Big victory there for UK 1.
And unfortunately, a victory. Oh, no, not a victory. One of the marshals has made one of the Czech fighters go down, so we now have a 2-1.
Yeah, it's 2-1 here, and you can see there's a big American holding on there. The Czechs trying to sweep away those legs. The American in a bad position here.
I think the big American fighter needs to focus more on the smaller one.
Yep.
He's not going to do much to that other
He needs to keep control of his leg as well.
Maybe.
Unfortunately, he's got a loose leg completely. If the other Czech fighter can sweep the leg away, and that's what he's trying to do.
But you see that the American fighter is holding on to the others, making sure that if he goes down, he takes 2 of them with him.
That's right,
that would be another draw. He's now not on the list. It's not advisable for him to do that.
So he's got a good grip of both those Czech fighters.
I don't believe so. He only seems to have a grip of the fighter in front of him.
True, yeah.
Maybe this would be the perfect time for the Czech fighter to twist and down him, even just dropping with him, and he does.
Very, very
smart. Such a shame for the American fighter.
Yep.
But he lost that advantage by not gripping onto that list there. Well done to the Czechs in that final bout.
Great resilience there from the US team. We're going to see more from them, but now UK against Poland gets underway once again. Some very sharp, snappy bites. There are more polearms involved in this, whereas UK will rely more on the falchion and shields. If we can get in close, you can see now the Polish now homing down on those UK fighters. The slight split.
Czech fighters, unfortunately, checking on his fighter as there was a piece of metal that came off, which I think made the Danish fighter go down. So that's a win to Czech Republic.
It's a fast start for the Czech Republic, beat Russia. Big running there, and they've actually caught one of the Russians heading back. Big crunch in there, but it came to nothing.
Second Czech, third Czech, fourth Czech already down, and that is the fight done.
That's it. Well, business as usual for Russia.
Unfortunately, I do think sometimes it's just the legs. They know if somebody's moving fast, they have to take those legs out.
Yep.
Al equipo checo. Los rusos, claros favoritos, uno de los equipos más temidos.
We can see, I think it's a medic who's actually made his way to the list in the top section. I'm not sure who is on the ground there. It may be a Danish fighter. You can see here how well the Russians turned, and he was almost ready for that attack by the Czech fighter. 2 of them bringing them down quickly. Great trip work there from the Russians.
Now we talk about spatial awareness.
Yep.
But there's something to be said for spatial timing.
Yep, absolutely.
You can be aware that there's a fighter away off the side. But if you choose to focus on that fighter, you may miss an opportunity. The second engagement starts now. Hitting hard by the Russians. No Czech fighter down yet, but doing fantastic running by the Czechs. 1 Czech fighter down, 2 Czech fighters down.
You can see the back of the way the team went. They've gone for that big Czech fighter. Took 3 of them to take him down.
They're very smart in the way that when they group up, they'll do alternating attacks. So some will be hitting the top, one will be focusing on the body, the other one will go for the leg.
Yeah.
Very smart, very skilled fighters.
Rusia se lleva.
And we move on to Denmark, one against the Czech Republic again. We'll just see the replay of how the backup of these fighters is very impressive. But you've got three of the fighters that disorientate the Czech fighter, take away his balance. Very effective.
Czech versus the Danes up top. We'll get to that shortly. The Danish seem to be having the advantage here against the Czech, but the Czech has down a Dane, evening the fight. Now two Czech fighters against the Danes. This is not going well. Oh, and they have won it. Not okay. The Marshall's now checking over that armor, as you can see, on the lower list in the dead center. Czech Republic now taking on Great Britain.
That is UK 2 there. There's quite distinct Eastern armor setups.
See that after every shot, that UK fighter will be spatially aware of his surroundings.
Great takedown there in the middle of the list. The UK now with the advantage, hacking down on that Czech fighter. I think they'll take it down. It is. Big advantage there now.
We see a Czech,
and it has been brought to a close.
As the Czech fighter brought down the UK fighter with him, but it's still left the Czech fighter on the north side of that list, outnumbered.
Very good move. And it looks like it's 5 against 3, excuse me.
It's not boding well for the Great Britain team, but it does seem that they may have some chance to recuperate. A charge coming in from the Great Britain fighter floors.
And here we go now, looking to even out the numbers here. However, it is the UK who are taking some punishment from that big Czech fighter.
And they unfortunately do not have the numbers. So
and that has been called, so it brings it to a third and final round. We now are looking for the start of Ukraine versus the Czech Republic in the lower list. We'll be looking at that in just a moment. And here you can see that big Czech fighter pounding down
the Czech mountain.
The UK. Look at that. Goes for his leg.
Shots for the legs, not
he snaps it right off.
That armor obviously underneath
that's right.
Now we cross to the competition between Czech and Great Britain.
That's very tense,
with it being at least 3-4 Great Britain fighters standing. Actually, it seems to be that no one has been down quite yet. And then we see those two fighters down together.
There, that's big.
Now it'll be interesting to see who will create the balance here.
There are a number of locked weapons. I think that's going to work very badly against the UK.
If he's smart enough, now unfortunately he's getting tangled up there, going down with both of them.
To go down too.
It looks to be, it might be a slight advantage of the UK team though, as it seems to be two UK.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right. There's a nice takedown there. I think they might have injured that Czech fighter. And that's a big victory there for the UK.
And this is intense. Now we cross down to the